Hello everyone. In this video, we will quickly revise important points of class 10th vocational IT code 402 unit Spreadsheet Advanced. The first session is analyze data using scenarios and goal seek. The first topic is data consolidation. Data consolidation, it takes data from series of worksheets or workbooks and summarize it into a single worksheet that you can update easily. So basically from different worksheets, from different tables in the same worksheet, you can combine, you can summarize the data from different tables and into a single worksheet using consolidation. So you have to go to data menu and then click on consolidate option and then select source data range and click on add. So here you can select the source data range. You have to select the cell addresses to which you want to consolidate and click on add. Select additional range and click on add. So click on add whenever you are selecting different ranges. Select function from the function list. Sum is the default function and there are different functions which you can select from function list like minimum, maximum, count, average and other functions. Select a cell where you want to copy the result of data consolidate. So copy result to, here you have to select where you want the result of consolidation to appear. You have to click on more and then you have to click on row labels, column labels if you want to copy row and column labels of the table in the consolidated data result also. Select link to source data. This is link to source data. If you click on link to source data, in that case, any modification in the source range are automatically updated in the target range, that is in the consolidated data range. So if you do any changes in the source data, automatically result in the consolidated range is updated. Subtotals. It totals adds data arranged in an array. That is a group of cells with labels for columns and rows. So the main thing is your columns and columns should have some labels here. Using subtotals, you can create groups and apply inbuilt functions like sum, count, average, etc. For example, there is a worksheet which contains list of students belonging to different activities. And now if you want to count how many students are there in each activity, in that case, you can group by activity. Because you can see here activity is same. There are 3 activities, music, dance and art, and there are many students who belong to music activity, many students are in dance activity, many are there in art activity. So here group by activity, and then if I want to count how many are there in each activity, I will use count function. If I have to find the fees collected in each activity, like how much fees is collected in music in all or in dance activity, then I can use some function on fees. You can choose up to 3 groups of arrays to which to find subtotals. So make sure columns have headings and labels. So these name, activity, fees, these are the headings of the columns. Data menu, subtotal. In the group by box, select the column you want to subtotal to. So in that case, in our case here, we have to use group by activity. Then calculate subtotal for, select the column that you want to subtotal, which you want to exactly add, where you want to apply the function. So here we want to add fees. We have to find sum of fees. So we can write calculate subtotal for, and then fees we have to click on, and here we can use some function. So there are other functions also available in use function box like count, average, min, max, product. So many functions are there. It is advisable to use sorted data in subtotals. So to get better results, data should be arranged in ascending or descending order while you're using subtotals. So it is advisable to use sorted data in subtotals. So if we want to use count function, like suppose if I have to count how many people are there in each activity, then instead of sum, I can use count function here. But here I want to find sum of the fees. Like you can see art activity sum is 7,300. And same for other activities. So we have group by activity because activity is a thing which is similar for 2 or more rows, and then calculates a total for fees and using the function sum. What if analysis? It's an important feature of spreadsheet that helps to change cell values to see how these changes will affect the worksheet's final outcome. So that means if we change any of the values, what will be the final outcome? So we can use several set of values to explore different results in the formula. What if analysis tools are scenarios, multiple operations, goal, seek, solver. So these are the 4 what if analysis tools. Scenarios. Scenarios are a tool to test what if analysis questions. A scenario is a saved set of cells values for your calculations. You can easily switch between these sets using a navigator or a drop-down list. So you can use a navigator, you can create various scenarios, and to switch between scenarios, you can use a drop-down list or a navigator. For example, if you want to calculate the effect of different interest rates on an investment. You can add a scenario for each interest rate and quickly view the results. So you can go to Tools, Scenarios. In the Create Scenario dialog box, you have to enter the name of the scenario. The name which you have created, the scenario name will appear in the navigator and on the title bar of the scenario on the sheet itself. So whatever name you will give, it will display the name in the navigator, name of the scenario, or in the title bar of the sheet itself. Okay, uncheck the copy back option and click on OK. So suppose we want to use scenarios here. We are having different values of principal rate and time. Here we have applied a formula to find interest, P into R into T upon 100. Now I want to change the amount, I want to change the value of principal and then see the outcome. What will happen if I change the value of 20,000 here to suppose 12,000 or 40,000, and then I can create different scenarios. So you have to click on scenarios option, and from here you can click on tool scenarios and you will get this dialog box. Give a name. This name will appear in the navigator window and drop down list title, and on the title bar of the sheet also uncheck the copy back option so that previous results are not copied. You can also specify the border color of the scenario, like pink color I have given for the border. And now you can see if you click on this drop down arrow, like there are two scenarios made here and you can switch between different scenarios by using navigator. Multiple operations in columns or rows. It's also a planning tool for what if questions. In your spreadsheet, you can enter data, enter a formula to calculate a result from values that are stored in other cells. Then you set up a cell range where you enter some fixed values, and multiple operations command will calculate the results for each of the given values. So unlike a scenario, multiple operation does not present the alternate version in the same cells or with a drop-down list. So unlike scenario, here we can place a drop-down and multiple versions are provided in this same cell range. Like if I click on scenario 1, the value of principal amount will be changed here. So in the same set of cells, it will show different values and different output. But it will create a formula array, a separate set of cells showing the results of applying the formula to a list of alternative values for the variables used by the formula. So instead of multiple operation, a separate set of cells are created in which we can show the results of applying a formula to a list of alternative values. Whatever alternative values we are writing, we write separately, not in the original cells where we have placed the original formula. To use multiple operation, you need two arrays or two sets of cells. The first array contains the original or default values and the formulas applied to them. The second array is created by entering a list of alternative values of one or two of the original values. So we can create one or two alternate values. Okay, we can choose data menu and click on multiple operations. Data menu is where we get this option of multiple operation. Click the cell containing the formula, click on row or column input cell where the cells whose alternative values you are giving. So basically, suppose here we have created a scenario for principal rate and time, and simple interest is the formula which we have written. So what we have to do is, when you click on multiple operations, we will see this dialog box. Now, when you click on the formula is applied in this cell in B4. This is B4. So we will click on B4. This cell contains the formula. So this is a formula which we want to see what will be the outcome by changing what? Row input cell. So first of all, you have to enter some values for the principal amount. Suppose I am changing principal amount and I am changing, suppose your rate of interest. So two things I am changing here. So I am writing all the principal amount here in a column. And suppose I want to write different rate of interest here in a row. So now I have written principal amount and rate of interest. What I want is, if 12,000 is the principal amount and rate of interest is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, what will be the total interest? Similarly, if 10,000 is the principal amount or 50,000 is the principal amount and rate of interest is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, what will be the simple interest calculated? So I can place row input cell is B2. B2 is rate. So rate of interest I have written in this row. This is row input cell. Column wise I have written B1. B1 is principal amount. And then when I click on OK, it will give the answer. So when you are creating a multiple operations, we have to select the range like this. We have selected it here. It's a two-dimensional multiple operation. It can be used as one-dimensional multiple operation also. Goal sheet, another important what if analysis tool. This comes in the tools menu. You can discover what values will produce the result that you want. For example, you have marks of all the subjects except computer science. Now you want to find out how much marks in computer science you should get so that your overall aggregate marks is 80%. So we have the outcome. That means we want the output to be 80%. So what should be the input? This is the opposite. of your scenarios and multiple operations where we have the input values and we want to see the outcome. What will be the outcome for these input values? Now this is opposite. We have the output. We want 80% aggregate should be there. So how much input, how much computer science marks I should get? So only one value can be altered in a single goal seek. We can only change one value. We can only find out the one variable cell in goal seek. Okay, so this is my table. Here I am having the name of one student and marks of different subjects except computer science. Total marks is given and percentage is 65.2. So I go to tools, goal seek, click on the formula cell. So formula cell here is percentage, that is I2. So I2 is given over here. Target value, my target value is 80. I want my percentage to be 80. Then variable cell. Variable cell is what? What value you want to change to get the target value. Variable cell here is G2, that is computer science marks. Okay, then click on OK. You will get the desired result. Result will be what will be the total science marks if you want to get a percentage of 80. Solver. This is also under tools menu. It's a more elaborate or descriptive form of goal seek. So similar to goal seek, but more descriptive, more elaborate. The difference is that solver deals with equations with multiple unknown variables, whereas in goal seek, we can change only one variable. So as you have seen in goal seek, we can change only one value. We can only see the marks by changing the marks of one subject. But in goal seek, in solver, you can you can do equations with multiple variables. You can use unknown variables more than one. So it is specifically designed to minimize or maximize the results according to a set of rules that you have to define. You can also give some limiting conditions. Each of these rules should be set up whether an argument in the formula should be greater than, less than, or equal to the value you enter. So let us see. In the above table, formula calculates total profit for each product by multiplying the units sold by the profit per unit. So these are the units sold. Suppose these are the products ABC, units sold, profit per unit. So how much will be the total profit? Total profit will be what? This unit sold into profit per unit. So this is the total profit. So we have sold 100 unit and the profit per unit is 30. So total profit will be 30 into 1000. So this is how we got this formula B2 into C2. So we have got total profit here. So company needs a total profit of 7,000. Right now its profit is 5,700. They can increase the sales of the products with following constraints. So they want the output to be 7,000 here. Total profit should be 7,000 here by adding all these three profits. Right now they are getting 5,700. So they can do some changes here, like they can increase the units sold or they can increase the profit per unit. There are some limiting conditions. What is the limit till which they can sell the item? What is the limit? How much profit they can earn per unit? So we can use solver here. They cannot sell more than 120 items of A. That means product A, they cannot sell more than 120. We cannot change the units sold of A to more than 120. Then second is product B units should be at least 40. That means B, the product B units, that means units sold should be at least 40. It should be greater than equal to 40. Third is they cannot sell more than 100 item of C. That means C units sold cannot be more than 100. That is a limiting condition. So now we are changing the units sold here, and then we can see what will be the outcome. So follow the steps. Tools, solver. Go to tools and click on solver. Enter target cell address. Here it is D5. So target cell address is D5. This is what we want to change, D5. Okay. We want here the output to be 7,000. So value of 7,000. We can also use minimum and maximum here to optimize the result. Not only value, we can also get minimum and maximum. By changing cell, we are changing B2 to B4. We are changing the units sold here. So B2 to B4, there are three cells, B2, B3, B4. So now you can see in solver, we can change more than one cells also. In goal seek, we can only select one variable cell. So now specify the limiting condition here. Limiting condition is B2 should be less than equal to 120. We cannot sell more than 120 items in product A. B3 should be greater than equal to 40. So B3 should, that is product B should be at least 40. Then B4 should be less than equal to 100. We cannot sell more than 100 items of C, product C. And then click on solve. It will give you the desired result here. And the output will come 7,000 over here if you click on solve. Session 2. Link data and spreadsheets. This is again an interesting topic. When you open a new spreadsheet, by default, it has a sheet named Sheet 1, which is managed using Sheet tab at the bottom of the spreadsheet. By default, in Open Office Calc, we are having three sheets, Sheet 1, Sheet 2, and Sheet 3. But we can insert more sheets. There are three ways to insert a sheet. We can go to Sheet menu. Sorry, we can go to Insert menu and click on Sheet option. And then, or we can right click on the Sheet tab at the bottom and click on Insert Sheet. Or we can click on an empty space at the end of the line of the sheet tabs. So at the end of the line of sheet tabs, we can click on the empty space. So There also you can get the dialog box in which you can add a sheet. So you can go to so after using insert sheet or after inserting a sheet, a dialog box comes. This is insert sheet dialog box. You can also add a sheet from a different spreadsheet file by choosing the from file option. So basically you can also use the option of from file, and you can click browse and select the file that you want to select, that you want to insert. That means you can insert a sheet from some other file also. You can click on the browse option, you can click on from file option, and then select the file and which sheet you want to insert, that also you can select. If you click on link option in the insert sheet dialog box, there's a link checkbox also. Then any change in the original sheet will be reflected in the file where you have inserted the sheet. So if you make any changes in the original sheet, so suppose if you are inserting a sheet from some other file, then if you make any changes in the original sheet, the sheet where you have copied that particular sheet will also reflect the changes. Then renaming the worksheet. It's very simple how to rename the worksheet. Just double click on the worksheet name at the bottom where it is showing sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. Just double click on any of the sheet name and then type a new name. Right click on the worksheet name and choose rename. Right click is the simplest method. Through right click you can also insert a sheet. You can also delete a sheet through right click. Or you can go to format menu, click on sheet option and then click on rename option. Next topic is cell reference. A cell reference refers to the address of a cell or a range of cells on a worksheet. You can reference a cell in a formula, and to refer to a cell, it means data from one or more contiguous cells on the worksheet. That means you can refer a cell which is from the continuous cells of the worksheet. Data contained in different areas of a worksheet. That means you can reference a cell in a formula by referring to data in the different areas of the worksheet, not the continuous cells, but different areas of the worksheet. Data on other worksheet in the same workbook. So you can also reference a cell for the data on other worksheets in the same workbook, some other sheets, but in the same file. There are two ways by which you can reference cells in other sheets: by entering the formula directly using the keyboard and by using the mouse. So you can simply write the formulas by using the keyboard, or you can use mouse to refer to the cells in another worksheet. So the syntax is sheet name dot cell address. For example, in the formula equal to book1 dot A1. That means book1 here is the name of the sheet and A1 is the cell address to which we want to refer to. So you can see book1 is given in single quotes. So although giving single quotes is not necessary if your sheet name does not have any space. Suppose there is a space in the sheet name, book space 1, then it is compulsory to write single quotes for the sheet name. So similarly, if I write equal to sum school dot b1 colon b6. So here sum is a function, and whose sum I want to find? I want to find the sum of the cell range b1 colon b6, b1 to b6 of the sheet whose name is school. This is the name of the sheet, school, and b1 to b6 sum I want to find. So either you can write equal to sum and then you can click on the school sheet, and then you can select the range. The cell address will automatically come over here, just like you are using for continuous range of cells in the same worksheet also. Or you can type this formula yourself by using a keyboard. So first of all, we will write the sheet name dot and then the cell address, or if there's a range, we can write it like this: first cell colon second cell. Working with hyperlinks. Hyperlinks can be used in Calc to jump to a different location from within a spreadsheet, jump to different files or to websites. So basically hyperlink means to link to some other file, to link to any website. There are two types of hyperlinks, absolute and relative. Absolute hyperlink contains full address, including the protocol and domain name for URLs and the entire path and file name for the documents. So absolute means when you specify the complete address, complete location of the file or the complete URL of the website name. So like suppose my file name is book1.ods, and if I'm writing C colon, it is in the hard disk, in the project files and in project files in my data folder. If this file is there, if I'm writing the complete path, this is the absolute link to the file. Complete path starting from the hard drive, from the folder, subfolder, and the file name. Absolute URL, it will contain the protocol. HTTPS is the protocol name of the website. Inside that website is a web page that is class 10/index. The complete path is given. So this is the absolute URL. Whereas relative hyperlink contains a partial address. For example, relative link to a file, suppose book1.ods is the name of the file. I'm just writing the folder, subfolder where this file is. I'm not writing the complete location like it is here, like C drive project files, that I'm not writing. In that case, this is the relative hyperlink. It is generally used when both the source and target locations target files are in the same location. Like suppose I'm creating a link to file book 1 from some other file, so that the file from where I am creating a link, that is in the same folder, that is also in project files folder. So in that case, I can simply write my data slash book1.ods. Okay, so if the target file and source file are in the same location, we can use relative hyperlink. Absolute link will stop working only if the target is moved. If I move this book1.ods, when I am creating a hyperlink, if I change the location of this linked file, book1.ods, suppose it is in project files folder, I just move this file to my documents folder. In that case, absolute link will not work, because this is the file, this is the location which I have written. Now in this location, this book1.ods file is not there, so this link will not work. Okay, a relative link will stop working only if the target and source locations change relative to each other. That means if, as I told you, suppose both of these, both the source and target are in the same location. So if I change the entire folder, like suppose if I change this entire project files, I copy the entire project files folder to some other folder. In that case, this relative hyperlink will work. It will stop working only when the source and target locations are changed relative to each other. Now they are not any longer same in the same folder, but their locations has changed relative to each other. So these are the important points, important difference between relative and absolute hyperlink, an important topic for the exam. Then we have to go to insert hyperlink. There are 4 types of hyperlinks which we can create. Internet, that means link to a web address. We can write the target web address to which we want to link, which website we want to link, that we have to write the target. Mail and news, the hyperlink will open an email message that is pre-addressed to a particular recipient. When I click on mail and news, I can write the recipient's email ID, and the default email program like Outlook Express will open with the email ID which we have specified. Document, hyperlink points to a place in either the current worksheet or another worksheet. So that means we can create a link to any document. We can specify the location of the document from here or from here. Okay, new document, the hyperlink creates a new worksheet. So if I click on new document, it will create a new worksheet. Specify the path or URL of the target file. Specify the text. Whatever text you write will appear on the worksheet. So when you click on this text, the file which you have specified here will open. Link to external data. You can insert tables from HTML documents and data located within the name ranges from an OpenOffice Calc or Microsoft Excel spreadsheet into a Calc spreadsheet. So basically, you can insert a table which you have created in HTML file. In HTML file, that means in some websites which you have created, there are some tables. Or you can insert a table from some other Calc file or Excel file into your own Calc spreadsheet. So you can use link to external data. But the main thing is, these, if you are inserting a table from some other Excel or Calc file, these ranges, these cell addresses, cell range should be named. That means like I want to copy this data. I want to link this data to my file. This is some other file. And from this file, from the original file, I want to link the data, insert the data into my file. So for that, I'll select this range in the name box. The range is A1:C6. So in the name box, you will see A1:C6 is written over here. You can just remove that and write the range name. Suppose here I'm writing range 1. So this is one of the way to write a range, to define a range. Or we can also go to data define range, select the range, go to data define range and type a name for the range. So it is important to name the ranges, to name the cell ranges which we want to link to. Now insert link to external data, type or select the URL of the source worksheet. So URL of the external data source, you have to specify. You can either click on these 3 dots, specify which sheet you want to link to, and available tables and ranges will be shown over here. I have made a range 1 here. That ranges, if there are more than one range, it will show you all the ranges. You can also click on update every and then select how many seconds. That means if I click on update every and select 10 seconds, so if you make any changes in the original file and within 10 seconds, that changes will appear in the copied file also. Okay, but the important thing is here it will show only the ranges or the table names. If you have inserted an HTML file, it will show the table names. If you have taken any Excel or Calc file, you have to first define the ranges. And to define ranges, you can go to data define range or type a name for the selected cell range, or you can select the cells and go to the name box here and type delete the cell addresses written over there like A1 to C6 in this case, and type the range, that range name. Link to registered data sources. You can access a variety of databases and other data sources and link them to Calc worksheets. That means you can also insert data from different databases. Like OpenOffice provide OpenOffice base. OpenOffice base data also you can insert into your calc file. Unlike just like we have done in the last topic, we can insert data from different spreadsheet into our spreadsheet. But here you can also insert data from different database like OpenOffice base into your own spreadsheet. For that, you have to register data source, which is in ODB format. ODB format is for OpenOffice base. So tools options, OpenOffice base, and click on database options. So tools options, OpenOffice base here, and click on database options. Now you can see a list of database which are already registered. If you want to register a new database, if you have created a new database and you want to register that, you can click on the new button and to open create database link dialog box, click and browse to select the database file. So new button, if you've already made some database, you can click on new and then specify use a file explorer to open that file and create database link dialog box, and you can link the database. Type a name to use as a registered name for the database and click OK. Database is added to the list of registered databases. So if you have a database which is not there in the list, you can click on new and add that database. Now suppose you have made a database, you already have a database. Now from that database, you want to add a file into your calc spreadsheet. So you can go to view data source. It will show you a list of all the data sources which are registered. Suppose I want to insert a table from the employee database. I can double click on employee database here, click on tables here, employee table I want to insert. If you double click on employee table, it will show you the table here. You can simply click and drag it from here on your sheet. So you can see from a database, we have inserted the table into our calc spreadsheet. So view data source, you have to. Session 3, sharing worksheet data. Sometimes it is necessary to have multiple people working on a file at the same time. This can be to either speed up data entry or simply makes things easier for collaboration purpose. So spreadsheet software allows us to share the workbook and place it in the network location where several users can access it simultaneously. So to activate the collaboration feature and to start sharing the document, we can go to Tools menu and click on Share Document option. So when you click on Share Document option, the word shared will appear in the title bar along with the name of the file which you have shared. Some features are disabled in a shared spreadsheet. So when you switch on share mode, when the spreadsheet is in share mode, some of the features are not working. So these features are disabled. Like you cannot insert a picture, you cannot create a chart or insert a movie or sound or any object. You cannot do subtotal on that sheet, data consolidate or renaming the sheet, etc. All these things are disabled in a shared spreadsheet. So tools and share document. So this is generally used for collaboration purpose when you want to multiple people to access the same file simultaneously. Saving a shared spreadsheet. So when you save a shared spreadsheet, one of the several situations may occur. So suppose you have a spreadsheet which is being shared by multiple people, and now when you are saving that spreadsheet, there can be several situations. If the worksheet was not modified by and saved by another user, since you opened it, the worksheet will be saved. That means you are the first user who is making the changes since the last time the document was saved. So the worksheet was not modified and saved by any other user since you have opened it. In that case, worksheet will be simply saved. If the worksheet was modified and saved by another user since you opened it, one of the following events will occur. So since you opened the file, some other user has also made some changes and saved the file. When you are working on the sheet, some other user also opened that sheet and made some changes and saved the file. So what will happen now? So in that case, if the changes do not conflict, the worksheet will be saved and any modified cells by the other users are shown with a red border. So basically, if the changes do not conflict, that means the changes which you have made with the worksheet and the other user has made, there is no conflict in that changes. In that case, the worksheet will be saved and whatever changes has been done, they are shown with a red border. If the changes conflict, the resolve conflict dialog box is shown. You must decide for each conflict which version to keep, yours or the other's person, by clicking on keep mine or keep other, keep all mine or keep all other buttons. That means when you are saving a worksheet and there are some conflicts, like suppose you have changed a particular cell, suppose you have changed cell A1 and you have changed its value to suppose 80 and another user has changed the value to 90. Now there is a conflict. Okay, in that case, you have to resolve the conflicts. First, this dialog box will come. It will show you all the conflicts which are appearing and then you can decide whether you want to keep your version or keep other person version. And if there are various conflicts, you can click on keep all mine or keep all others if you want to keep all of your changes which you have made to be the final changes, or you want to keep the other person's changes as the final changes. Okay, then while you are resolving the conflicts, no other user can save the shared worksheet. So while you are going through this dialog box of resolve conflict, no other user who is also accessing this sheet can save the document. If another user is trying to save the shared worksheet and resolve conflicts, you see a message that the shared spreadsheet is blocked due to merge in process. Okay, merge in progress. You can choose to cancel the save button for now or retry saving later. That means suppose someone is resolving the conflicts and now you are another user and you also want to save a shared document. In that case, it will show you a message that this spreadsheet is logged because a merging is in progress. So someone else is resolving the conflicts. In that case, you cannot save the file at that moment. When you successfully save a shared spreadsheet, the worksheet shows the latest version of all the changes that got saved by all the users. So once the worksheet is being saved, it will show the latest version of all the changes which has been done by different users will be shown. Record changes. So Calc has a feature to track what data was changed, when the change was made, and who made the change, in which cell the change has occurred. So suppose if you are a sponsor of a school baseball team, the coach has submitted a budget to you and you need to edit the cost and return it to her. You are concerned that if you just make the changes, then the coach won't see the changes you made. So you can use the Calc with record changes feature turned on so that the coach can easily see the changes that you have made. So record changes is that option which is used so that if you have made a file and you have given this file to review to some other user and you want to see what changes he has done after reviewing the file, what changes he has done. So for that, you can switch on the record change option. So for that, to start recording, edit changes record. You have to go to edit menu, click on changes, click on record. So now whatever changes is being done by other user, it will be highlighted with a red colored border around the cell. So whatever cell you change, the value you change, on that cell, a red color border will appear. To add comment to record changes, so if you want, so by default, when you place your mouse on any of the cell in which the changes has been done, like suppose these are the cells in which the changes has been done by another user. So if the record changes are on, so in that case, it will show a red color border on the cells which are changed. And when you place your mouse on those cells in which the red color borders are appearing, it will show you a comment. The comment will show you what changes are done. That means in this cell B3, what was the original value and what is the changed value now, and who has done the changes, which author has done the changes, and the date and time when the change was done. So you can also add a comment. There is some default comment which appears and you can add your own comment. So for that, go to edit, go to changes, click on the comment option. Dialog box will be coming and then you can type your own comment and click OK. Accepting or rejecting changes. When you receive a worksheet back with changes, you can step through each change and decide to accept or reject it. So suppose you are a teacher or your class teacher has made a worksheet in which she has written marks of different subjects. Now your class teacher wants to give this worksheet for reviewing to all subject teachers. Like suppose she has made the data entry for the marks of all the subjects. Now she wants to give this file to other subject teachers like English, Hindi, math teachers and other teachers to review the marks which she has entered. And if she has switched on the option of record changes and now she is getting the file back, so how she will decide which changes has been done, which changes to accept or which changes to reject. For that, she will go to edit, changes, accept or reject. So now the dialog box will be shown. Each change will be shown here. Like suppose change content in this sheet. So it will show you the cell C4 has been changed from this value to another value, when the date and time when the change was done, the author name, who has done the changes. So you can choose whether you want to accept the change or reject the change. So you can click on the accept button or reject button, whether you want to accept the change or reject the change, or accept all, reject all. Viewing changes. To view only selective changes, we can go to edit changes show. So we can go to edit changes show. So in that case, you can see only few changes or selective changes in your screen. Like suppose I want to see only those changes which were done in cell A1 to B6. I don't want to see the changes which were done in column C onwards. Only from column A and B I want to see the changes. So I can select a range of cells. So there are various things on which you can filter. So I can click on cell range, and I can specify which range changes I want to see. I can specify the date, when was the change made. Only changes made in a certain time range will be shown. Author also we can select, only changes made by specific author will be shown. Comment, the changes which have a specific comment will be shown. Show accepted changes or rejected changes, only changes which you have accepted or rejected will be shown. So edit changes show, it will show only selected changes which have been done. Merging worksheets. Sometimes multiple reviewers return edited versions of a worksheet at the same time. In that case, it may be quicker to review all of these changes at once rather than one review at a time. For this purpose, Calc provides the feature of merging worksheets. So to merge the worksheets, all of the edited worksheets need to have record changes in them. So suppose you have shared your document with multiple people, and you have also switched on record changes options, so that whatever changes are being done by them are highlighted. Now suppose you get all the edited versions of the worksheet at the same time, like there are 4 or 5 people or more than that to whom you have sent the worksheet for reviewing purpose. And once you get all the files, all the edited versions back, now you want to quickly review all the changes at once. Suppose you have got 10 versions of the file which has been reviewed by different people, and the changes which has been done by them are highlighted. So there's an option called merge worksheet, in which you can quickly review all the changes of all the files together at once. So for that, first of all, you have to open the original worksheet. Open the original worksheet. One condition is that record changes should be enabled in these worksheets. Okay, then click on edit changes merge document. A file selection dialog box opens. So whatever files you want to merge with, select all the files and click on OK. After the worksheets merge, in that case, you have to click on the accept or reject changes dialog box, and then you can accept or reject the changes made by the reviewers. So you have to click on all the files which are basically sent by all the reviewers one by one, and then once all the files are being selected, then it will show you the accept reject dialog box, and you can accept and reject the changes for all the reviewers together. Changes from different authors appear in different colors in the worksheet. Comparing documents. When sharing worksheets, reviewers may forget to record the changes they make. In this case, Calc can find the changes by comparing worksheets. Sometimes when you are sharing the worksheet, you forget to record the changes. Now, changes are not highlighted. So what will you do? How will you see what changes has been done? So for that, we can use comparing document. In order to compare worksheet, you need to have the original worksheet and the one that is edited. Open the edited worksheet that you want to compare with the original worksheet. Select edit and click on compare document. Open worksheet dialog box appears. Select the original worksheet and click insert. Calc finds and marks all the changes as follows. So you have to click on edit, compare document, and then you have to select the original file and click on insert. It will find all the changes as follows. All data that occurs in the edited worksheet but not in the original sheet is identified as inserted. So whatever changes are done in the edited sheet, whatever new changes or new things are there in the edited sheet are identified as inserted. All data which is there in your original sheet but not in the edited sheet are identified as deleted. All the data that is changed is marked as changed. So added, inserted, deleted, or changed. Okay, difference between edit and compare is that in merging sheets, both of them are used for the same purpose. But when you want to merge the sheets which are done by different reviewers, in that case, record changes option should be enabled. Then only you can merge. And to merge worksheet, first of all, we have to open the original sheet, and then we can edit it, and then we can compare it with the edited sheet. So all the edited sheets should have record changes in them. For comparing sheet, if you have forgot to record the changes, then we can use comparing document. And in that case, original and the edited one should be basically open. In that case, you have to open the edited sheet and compare it with the original sheet. This is the difference. Session 4, create and use macros in spreadsheet. So macro is a saved sequence of commands or keystrokes that are stored for later use. Macros are used to automate repetitive tasks. So there are some tasks which you want to perform on a regular basis, repeatedly. So these tasks, instead of performing again and again, you can save all these commands or tasks in a macro. You can record a macro and save all these tasks in a macro. Next time, whenever you want to follow these tasks or perform these tasks, you can simply run the macro. All the tasks will be performed again. So use for repetitive tasks. So using the macro recorder, how to record a macro, how to record the task which you want to save in the macro. Go to Tools, Menus, Macros, Record Macro. The macro recorder will start. Perform the required task. Task can be anything. Like you want to format, like suppose there's a company in which a person wants to format all the worksheets in a similar manner on a regular basis, apply some formulas in a regular basis. So she can perform all the tasks in the macro, record the macro and perform all the tasks. Then you can click on Stop Recording button to stop the macro recorder. So all the tasks will be recorded inside the macro. Now you have to save the macro. So for that, it will open a dialog box. Select the worksheet where you want to save. You can save it in My Macros also. It shows a default library name Standard. You can also create a new library and module where you want to save your macro. If no libraries exist, then the standard library is automatically created and used. If you do not make a new library to save the macro, then by default, standard library is used. So give a name to the macro and click on save. So save the macro. Now to run the macro, again go to Tools, Menu, Macro, Run Macro and select the name of the macro and click on Run. So suppose we have opened a new worksheet, you want to perform the same task on that worksheet. So go to Tools, Macro, Run Macro, click on the macro name and click on Run. All the tasks will be performed which are being saved in the macro will be performed on the new sheet also. So this is how you can save. You have to write the macro name here. Standard library is where we have to save, or you can make a new library by clicking on new library button or new module button and click on save option. Macro programming. You can also use macro as a function. As you know, Calc has different functions like sum function, minimum, maximum, average. So there are predefined functions in Calc or in Excel, but you can create your own functions in Calc or Excel using macros. So for that, Tools, Menu, Macros, Organize Macro, click on Open Office Basic and type the macro name and click on Edit. Similar kind of dialog box will open. You have to type the macro name. There's an option of Edit comes over here. So you have to go to Organize Macros here. So it will open a coding window. So it will open a basic programming window and where you have to type the code to create a function in a macro. So the code, suppose if you want to type a code, a similar kind of window will appear. So like this is a function which we have typed. The name of the function is test and it is taking three variables x, y and z. And this function test is returning what? Test equal to x into y into z. So this function test will return the multiplication of three numbers, the product of three numbers. So a macro to display a message, hello students. So function display. So this display function is returning what? Display equal to hello students and the function. You have to end the function with this command and function. To run the macro, you have to go to your worksheet. So first of all, you will type this code, then click on this save button to save the code and then go to your worksheet, write equal to and then the name of the function and two round brackets. जैसे कि we write in calc also equal to sum and two round brackets inside which we write some values. So here also equal to display and enter. It will show you the message hello students. Similarly to find multiplication, you will write function multiplication or multiply, whatever the function name is there. Pass the values, multiply equal to a into b, end function. Go to your sheet, save the file first of all, go to your sheet, equal to multiply, pass any two values to find the multiplication. Macro to find greatest of two numbers. So function, any name of the function which you want to take, any unique name, bracket open. Suppose two numbers or a or b are the variables whose greater we want to find. If a is greater than b, then this is a syntax which we have to follow. Greater equal to a, the function will return a, else the function greater will return b. And if for each if we have to write and if, in the end we will write end function. Now to run the macro, first of all save this macro by clicking on the save button. Then we write equal to name of the macro greater bracket and then pass two values. Any two values we can write here, press enter, it will show the answer. So save the code before you want to run the macro. Passing arguments as values. Arguments passed to a macro from Calc are always values. It is not possible to know what cells are used. For example, equal to display A3. Suppose if I am writing equal to greater A1, comma A2. That means it will find the greatest of the values given in cell A1 and A2. The values which are passed to a macro are the arguments which are passed to a macro. Arguments means whatever we write in the brackets inside a function. They are called as arguments. So they are always values. They are always treated as values. So even if we write equal to display A3, it will pass the value of the cell A3 into the function display and has no way of knowing that A3 was used. So if you want to know which cells are referenced rather than the values, so if I write any cell address here, it will pass a value of A3. So if you want to know which cells are referenced rather than the values in the cell, we should pass the range as a string. We should pass the cell address as a string. String means as a text. And then parse the string, then navigate the string and obtain the values in the reference cells. So generally we just try out these things. When we write A3 here, it means cell address A3 and it will pass the value of the cell address A3. So that's all for your calc syllabus. All the best.